Hello, good evening. Just quickly, in terms of the format, Liam, our defender, is going to do the conference first, and then followed by Brendan Rodgers, the manager, who will be here in 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. So we'll just kick off with questions. Who would like to begin? Andrew?
I wouldn't call it an injury, it's just a scratch. But nah, it's fine. They took care of it on the pitch, just a bit of glue. I didn't need any stitches or anything, so okay, it's all good. It probably looks worse than it is. Sorry.
Innanzitutto come vanno? Come stai? Come va l'infortunio? No, non lo chiamerei neanche infortunio, è stato soltanto una cosetta che ho appena risolto. Non c'è problema, sto bene, ho provato anche in allenamento.
Where is the belief in this side that you'll be able to have European football after Christmas? Is that still something that you're striving for, that you feel is realistic?
Yeah, definitely. If we win the 2 games, we give ourselves a right chance. So that's what we're looking to do. Obviously, that starts tomorrow night. Just need to sort of win these games and see where it puts us. But no, we do believe we can do it. You know, we've come close enough. We've gone toe to toe with them and just been on the wrong side of the results, unfortunately. But tomorrow, hopefully, we can turn that around.
Credete che c'è ancora margine per sperare magari un passaggio magari in Europa League? Sì, ci crediamo, i risultati in questo momento non parlano a nostro favore, però domani sera daremo il nostro meglio e cercheremo di vincere. Questa è anche la partita successiva.
You mentioned going toe-to-toe with them. What can you take from the home game against Lazio that gives you optimism heading into tomorrow night?
I suppose we could take the first half, and we felt like we were probably the better team in the first half, and then the second half became a bit more open, and we were unlucky to come away with nothing from that game. So we know what they're about now, and we've had the experience of playing against them. Obviously, it's tough coming away from home, and I've seen the stadium. I'm expecting the atmosphere to be like really, really good, but we know we have the quality to cause them problems, and just need to try and win this game.
Per quanto riguarda la partita domani, come vi aspettate? Ovviamente anche rispetto all'ultima partita che c'è stata, il primo tempo cercheremo di dare il massimo e non sarà una partita facile, proveremo di essere presenti durante tutte le fasi della gara.
Do the players feel there's a point to prove in Europe at all? Because there's certainly spells you'll be happy with in some of the games so far this campaign, but when you look at the group only having 1 point, does it feel that there is that point to prove?
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's all. You can have spells in games and look good in spells, but it's about getting results at the end of the day. So that's what we want to prove, Joe, that we can play well, look good, look like we're up to the standard, and actually go and win the games. So that's what we're here to do now for the remainder of this campaign, and that's what we'll try and do.
A volte alcune partite possono essere condizionate dagli eventi, ma quello che ci viene richiesto di fare è giocare bene, ed è proprio quello che faremo domani sera.
Liam, it's your first kind of full season at this level. You're 4 games into the group now. What has surprised you perhaps about playing in the Champions League and at this level of football?
I haven't been surprised by much. Probably just the intensity of it and how fast it is, and how you don't get away with little mistakes like maybe you would domestically. But I sort of expected that coming into it. I did expect it to be like that. So that's the main thing, though. The main difference, I suppose, is how fast it is and how ruthless it is.
Per quanto riguarda questo tipo di competizione, quali sono le differenze magari rispetto alla nostra Premier? Ovviamente un livello più alto, c'è una maggiore intensità e in questo contesto gli errori contano molto. Però ovviamente ce lo aspettavamo, è una velocità e un ritmo di gioco completamente diversi.
And having played Lazio a few weeks ago, what in particular are you expecting from them tomorrow night?
Look, they're a really good side, and at home it'll be them being at home. It'll be tougher for us. They probably have more of the ball than they did in Celtic Park, and we're sort of ready to deal with that. We just want to go head to head with them and just try and outplay them. That's basically it.
Avete già giocato con la Lazio, che partita prevedete? Loro sono molto bravi, qui giocheranno in casa ovviamente, e noi faremo il nostro meglio e cercheremo di portare avanti il nostro stile di gioco.
I don't know if you've been out and had a look at the pitch yet, but do you allow yourself that moment when you come into an environment like this and you think, wow, this is different?
Yeah. I'm sort of taking it all in, taking as much of it in as I can, because it's, you know, you don't know how many of these experiences you're going to have, like playing in these stadiums against this level of opposition. So I try and before the games have a second just to take it all in, and then I get into sort of game mode, I suppose.
Giocare in uno stadio del genere è qualcosa di veramente interessante per me come per tutti gli altri membri della mia squadra. Ovviamente ci rendiamo conto di dove siamo e prima della partita cercheremo di essere concentrati al massimo.
If we go back to 2019, there was that Olivier Ntcham goal here that gave Celtic a late win. Do you remember watching that game at all? Do you remember where you were when that happened at all?
No, I don't, sorry.
I suppose a special moment like that would be exactly what the team need tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. Like away wins in Europe are hard to come by, and if we can do that here tomorrow, it would be amazing. You know, it would be amazing for us as a group to sort of kick on and give us that belief that in the last game then we can go and do the same.
Per quanto riguarda anche la partita che c'è stata nel 2019, l'ha riguardata e penso che potrebbe succedere qualcosa del genere. Domani vedremo, ovviamente è una partita importante e siamo qui carichi e pronti per giocare.
Very much so. I think it's a game we're under no illusion what we need to do in the game. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We have to win the game.
Come ti aspetti la partita di domani? Ovviamente è scontato neanche a dirlo, abbiamo bisogno di vincere, dobbiamo farlo.
An eventful game between the sides at Celtic Park. What did you learn from that game that you can take into this one?
Well, I think we learned that over the course of the competition against Lazio and the other teams, that when we are 11v11, that we can really compete on the field. And obviously, the learning at the end of the game, was that you have to be concentrated right through to the very end. You know, we looked like the team that was going to win the first leg, and we ended up losing the game. So that was a big disappointment, considering how well we played and taken the lead. But it's I think what's important for us is making sure we have 11 men on the field. I think in our 2 away games we've been down to 9 men and 10 men, and at this level it's a big ask. So for us it's about that, keeping our players on the field, playing the level of football that we know we can and have shown, and hopefully getting the breaks in the game.
So, okay.
Quali sono le lezioni che hai imparato dall'ultima partita al Celtic Park contro la Lazio? Abbiamo imparato che è molto importante mantenere la concentrazione soprattutto nelle fasi finali della partita, perché è proprio lì che abbiamo perso la partita d'andata e che per noi è stata una grande delusione. È importante essere concentrati tutti gli 11 uomini sul campo per tutti i 90 minuti. Cercheremo di mantenere alta la pressione e giocare come sappiamo fare.
Hi Brendan, Sky UK here. What can be learned from this Champions League campaign?
I think the two standouts for me is the experience that the players will gain playing against players at this level, players that have been consistently at this level. So that's always important when you come to play against top level players. It's really about the concentration for the full 90 plus minutes in the game. And also it's obvious, but at this level it's about quality as well. And especially at the top end of the field, all the teams have forward players that can really hurt you, that can make the difference. You don't get the number of chances that you might do domestically, so then you have to be clinical. So quality and experience is what improves you as an individual and as a team at this level.
And how important is it to get a win?
Sorry,
sorry.
we just let the translation. Thank you. Thank you.
Cosa possiamo dire che abbiamo imparato, cosa sta imparando durante questa Champions League, durante questa stagione di Champions League? Molto a livello di esperienza, di qualità e delle squadre che incontriamo. Costanza, mantenere la costanza ad alti livelli è fondamentale, soprattutto quando giochi contro dei top club di questo livello. È importante mantenere alta la concentrazione per tutti i 90 minuti, anche nella fase di recupero, nei minuti di recupero. Soprattutto mi stupisce il livello delle squadre, nella fase offensiva hanno degli attaccanti e dei giocatori che possono veramente far male e ovviamente questo non succede a livello nazionale e sto crescendo molto sia a livello individuale anche insieme al collettivo, alla nostra squadra.
And how important is it for the club to get at least a win in these last 2 games for the prestige of the club and from the prestige of this group stage in the Champions League, very competitive?
Yeah, I think it's for our own personal pride as a team. Clearly, as a club, that's what we want to do. We know the challenges that we have at this level, but and I also think the points total doesn't quite reflect the performance level that we've had. But we have 2 games now. We know what we need to do, and we are going to give it everything to achieve the victories that we need. Pleasure.
Quanto è importante una vittoria in questa fase finale del girone? Beh, ovviamente vogliamo essere all'altezza di questa competizione e i punti in questo momento non rispecchiano il lavoro che abbiamo fatto, il lavoro che stiamo facendo, però sappiamo bene cosa fare e come andare a ottenere questa vittoria.
Salve mister, le volevo chiedere un'opinione sul momento della Lazio e su Maurizio Sarri.
Hi, I wanted to ask you one question. How is Lazio doing right now? How do you see it? And what's your personal opinion about Maurizio Sarri?
Well, firstly, Maurizio was a very experienced coach. He obviously done incredible work at Napoli and then came to Chelsea and produced a very good football team. And then has obviously come back to here and he's a very experienced coach and a very talented coach who asks his players to play in a really attacking philosophy. You know, they play 4-3-3. Midfield are flexible. Luis Alberto I know really well, who's a really gifted player technically, and he now has experience from when I knew him as a 20-year-old at Liverpool. And they have front players, wingers and strikers that can score goals. So they will obviously be disappointed. They lost the league game at the weekend and haven't won in, I think, 3 games. But they have talent and they've shown that in this competition.
Credo che sia un mister, un allenatore veramente esperto, ha fatto un grandissimo lavoro anche come lo sta facendo adesso, come l'ha fatto con le altre squadre dove ha allenato, col Napoli, in tutte le squadre dove ha allenato. È un coach esperto e di talento, ha una strategia offensiva, una visione del calcio molto chiara, dei centrocampisti molto flessibili come Luis Alberto che gioca molto bene, anche egli un giocatore di grande esperienza, gli attaccanti segnano e credo che si tratti veramente di una squadra di talento, anche se nelle ultime giornate ci sono state delle problematiche, credo che giocheranno bene.
Salve mister, le volevo chiedere, Slot ha parlato dopo Lazio-Feyenoord di un olimpico che non ha mai sentito fischiare così tanto gli avversari. Voi temete domani l'ambiente dei tifosi della Lazio, che comunque sono anche arrabbiati per ciò che sta facendo la Lazio in queste partite? Temete questo ambiente e anche lo stadio dell'Olimpico che insomma fa un certo effetto? Grazie.
After the game against Feyenoord, somebody mentioned the high level of intensity by the supporters at the stadium. Are you maybe concerned that this could be a factor against you, the level of cheering up of supporters? Does this scare you at some level?
No, I think it's why you play football. You play football to play in the best stadiums, in the best atmospheres. And when I was here before, the atmosphere was amazing, and I expect it to be the same. It's a really iconic stadium. You always expect the supporters to get behind the home team. If you come to Glasgow, you see Celtic and how they support us, the supporters. So, but for us, I always say that the louder the opponents cheer, the harder we run. So hopefully we can run very hard.
Beh, questo è quello che ci aspettiamo, questo è come viviamo anche noi il calcio, è l'atmosfera migliore per giocare. Quando sono stato qui in passato ho notato un'atmosfera veramente infuocata e non mi aspetto nulla di meno in questo caso. È uno stadio iconico e anche da noi il tifo è molto intenso e vale sempre la regola che quanto più è grande il tifo, più c'è intensità in campo, più i giocatori corrono.
Go here first and then here. Okay. Thank you.
Buonasera mister, volevo chiederle, la Lazio è probabilmente nel peggior momento della sua stagione, questo può essere più un vantaggio per voi affrontare una squadra in difficoltà o si aspetta che magari invece la Lazio voglia dimostrare qualcosa di più per superare questo momento?
We can say that this is the worst moment in Lazio's season. Do you feel that this could be an advantage or they could somehow try and react to this difficult moment?
Yeah, I think as professional footballers and you always want to look to the next game. It's a different competition. You're not in the league. You come into the next game and you want to perform. So the Champions League is a fantastic competition to come and play, and however you're doing in the league, you feel that change when you come to the Champions League. So no matter how Lazio are doing domestically, we expect a really, really tough game, and we are prepared for a tough game.
Ovviamente a questi livelli nel calcio professionistico si guarda sempre alla prossima partita e poi non stiamo parlando di Serie A, c'è un passaggio dalla Lega Nazionale alla Champions League e questo sicuramente permetterà ai giocatori di guardare al campo in un altro modo. È una competizione fantastica da affrontare e siamo sicuri che la Lazio giocherà al meglio delle sue possibilità, al di là di quello che sta facendo in Serie A.
Brendan, you've talked about being competitive in this competition and perhaps not getting the results to match that. Aside from keeping 11 players on the pitch, what else has to be different tomorrow to change that?
I think taking our opportunities. I also think there's key moments, decisive moments in the game. You know, if you think of first half away in Feyenoord, in the first game, we started the game well. We had opportunities that we could take that could put us in front, but then we conceded a bad moment just right on half time. The Lazio game at home, a little bit of concentration where you know if you're not going to win the game, then certainly don't lose it. You know, so that was a point that we'd given away in that game. And then, like you say, I think the key for us is making sure we have 11 players on the field, and when we have shown that in all the games, we've been good in those games and competitive. So that's the challenge for us. And of course, at this level, it's the top end of the pitch, that quality, and then dealing with the quality and as a team collectively. So, but I'm excited by it. I'm really looking forward to seeing us play tomorrow. I think we can get the result that we want, and but like I say, we know we have to work very, very hard.
Anche rispetto alla partita d'andata, che cos'è che possiamo fare meglio? Ovviamente sarà importante iniziare bene la partita. All'andata abbiamo sofferto anche metà partita, è stato un momento difficile. Sarà importante mantenere la concentrazione, che già nella partita d'andata si è rivelata un fattore chiave. E sarà importante avere tutti i giocatori concentrati in campo. E a questi livelli è fondamentale giocare di squadra, un altro fattore fondamentale. E non vedo l'ora che arrivi domani, credo che possiamo ottenere il risultato che vogliamo, ma ce lo dovremo sudare.
Brendan, when you look at the wide areas, Lewis Palmer suspended, there's Maida and Abada, I'm assuming are still out, and James Forrest wasn't on the bench at the weekend or wasn't in the squad. Is that a big decision for you, who plays in those wide areas tomorrow, and is it a challenge to those that are selected to step up and show what they can do?
Yeah, listen, it's clear we're missing a lot of players that are really dynamic for us, that can change how the football game looks for us. But it's also an opportunity then for the other guys to come in. James will be available for the game. he didn't train so much over the international break. So rather than him maybe sit on the bench at the weekend, we wanted to give him some training days through until the game tomorrow. So he's available, which is good for us. But of course, then we have Yang, we have Mikey Johnson on the bench. So yeah, but it's always the opportunity. I think there've been lots of players maybe that over the first part of the season maybe haven't quite had the opportunity that they would like. But when you get the opportunity, you have to want to take it. So I'm looking forward to seeing us play and seeing those players perform.
Per quanto riguarda l'assenza di alcuni giocatori importanti e dinamici per noi, sono certo che i giocatori che li sostituiranno saranno in grado di cogliere l'opportunità e dare il meglio. James sarà disponibile, si è allenato poco durante la pausa, ma sta bene, giocherà. E ovviamente in questo momento della stagione ci possono essere delle finestre, degli spiragli per alcuni giocatori per poter provare il loro talento e il loro valore. Confido in questi giocatori e so che faranno bene.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Super.